if you look at this blue box, that's where we specialize. So it's more on the growth services. So if you're looking for maybe say traffic, leads, calls, revenues, so either through organic or through paid channel, then that's what we specialize in. So let's directly jump into the today's discussion, SEO. So primarily, I mean, many people would want to do SEO at the start of the journey, or maybe say even if it's an existing business, there are multiple times business has a thought that should we invest in SEO? Should we invest in social media? What is the right channel? And a typical question that we have is SEO dead? In the sense, we have seen multiple businesses investing a lot of money over time in SEO, but ultimately the ROI has not been materialized. So that's very much true in the sense, if you're on page number 1, there are people who are, I would say, getting a good ROI via their SEO page. But at the same time, on page number 2, page 3, down the line, I mean, there is no meaning in terms of doing any SEO. So if you are there, I mean, to get the maximum benefits, you need to be there on page number 1. And our today's discussion is primarily how do we get on page number 1. So let's jump into that. I understand the audience would be more in terms of decision makers, be it I would say a business owner, startup guy, or maybe say a SME person, or maybe say a brand manager. So the focus would be more in terms of getting the basics right, in terms of first understanding whether the search is or SEO is really meaningful to us or not. The second is how to get the SEO right. So you, in your own personal capacity, might not be doing the SEO. You might have an internal team. You might be working with an external agency. But how do you know that things are moving in the right direction? So most of the energy and the discussion points would be around these topics. And in between, we might be covering some of the technicalities of the SEO. So my personal background is also, I'm not a hardcore technical SEO guy, more from the business side. In between, just to make it more interactive, what we would be doing is we would be taking examples of different clients, be it, I would say, direct to consumer, B2C companies. So maybe there is an online gaming company, there is a mattress company, fashion company, healthcare companies. So predominantly their clients, or whatever they do, they directly reach out to the customers. On the other hand, there are a few B2B cases also that we would see. So there is a SME lending company, financing company, there is a solar power company, which is more on the B2B side. So it would be a mix of different examples that we would be taking. So the question is SEO for us or not? SEO is for everyone, in the sense search per se increasing day by day. Let's leave all the numbers on the left hand side. I mean, just some numbers out there. But if you look at your daily behavior, if everyone is there out, we are very much dependent on internet. And within internet also, whenever there has to be some new information or anything that has to be done, search is the primary tool that we use. So in a way, in today's world, we feel that it's a basic need in terms of both search and social, the way we are connected, the way we are living. And search is never going to die, at least in the next many decades, I would say. Now coming to our maybe say a business point in terms of as an individual, as a business owner also, how do you discover new businesses? So either it's through the search channel, or you might discover it through a social media, or maybe say you might be getting some recommendation. So recommendation, primarily it's more offline. Discovery, when we say it's you see an ad, or maybe say some kind of a video on YouTube or any other social media channel, and that's where you discover a particular new brand, or maybe say some service, and then you go towards that. Today's discussion is more on the search, and that too specifically within the SEO. So even if we broadly categorize search, so there is a Google search that is there. There are some other search engines, Bing, Yahoo, but predominantly 90-95% is with Google. Even within that, there is a location-based search SEO that we see. There is some regional SEO that we hear. There is a mobile app, or maybe say app store optimization that we hear. If we look at the e-commerce space, then definitely Amazon SEO plays a very, very important role, because rather than going in Google, people have started to go into Amazon apps and directly search for a product. On the other hand, there are, I would say, platforms or mobile apps such as Go Ibibo, or maybe say Swiggy. So if you want to order a food, you would go directly to Swiggy versus going in Google. So, but at the same time, these are broad searches that are happening in different channels. And with rise of Alexa, Siri, and everything, the voice search is also going to start shaping up in the coming years. So different businesses would, I would say, should prioritize the search or discovery or whatever channel that they use in different ways. And on the left hand side, you see that within online also we have broken it down into search. That's what we would be discussing today. Then there is discovery. So by discovery, I mean social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube type of channels. Search aggregators are maybe say platforms such as Swiggy, Zomato in the food sector. If we look at the travel industry, then it's Make My Trip or Go Ibibo type of platforms. And then there is an offline channel. So not going into details for each and every segment, but let's just pick education over here. So even within education, there is pre-school that is there. So if you're living in a particular locality for preschool, you might just want to search something online. But at the same time, it's a very recommendation or a referral driven, I would say, business. Because you are sending your child to a particular place, and unless and until there is a strong reference that you get from one of your close friend or maybe say neighbor, you might not want to venture out there. So preschool, even as there is some search happening, it's most of the decisions might be taken offline. Primary school, so maybe say standard 1 to standard 12 type of a thing, there is nothing that people would search online. Because people know that, okay, these are the top 5 schools in our area, whatever I would say board that you are looking for, and the decision is made. So search might not help you really if you are into this primary education business. But then let's look at a post graduation. So if you want to go maybe say do an MBA in Canada, or maybe say do some kind of a mechanical engineering course in Germany, then search becomes a very, very predominant channel. Because you would go online, you would try to do some research, you would compare different universities, you would read reviews. So that's the nature of the business is then search heavy. So with each and every industry, with each and every use case, we would see that whether it's search heavy, whether it's a discovery heavy, or maybe say it's a search aggregator heavy. So if we maybe say right now look into food or travel, these are all search aggregators heavy. So restaurants, or maybe say even some of the bus operators or so, they would have to rely on Swiggy or maybe say Redbus for all sections that are there. So the nature of or maybe say the reliance of search in this industries is very less. If we look at healthcare, again, it's a search-driven category, because people are migrating to newer places. Whenever they want to go to a new orthopedic or maybe say an oncologist, they would go online and search. So healthcare is a search-heavy category. Gambling or maybe say online gaming, again, it's a search heavy category. So we need to understand based on the nature of the business whether search is a good category or not. Definitely it's not for everyone, but for a majority of the business, if done right, then search should play an important role in their overall market strategy. This is more on the B2B side. So if you run a maybe say a fire safety company or a solar company, then very few people would be aware about such services or products in your close vicinity. So you would have to rely on Google to discover such service providers. So the reliance of such businesses on search is higher. But maybe say a SME loan type of a company, there the reliance on search would be lesser. You might just reach out to your CA or some other friends just to check out what is a good SME or a lending company kind of a thing. So for each business, at the start of whatever phase you are, you need to understand whether search is going to be truly beneficial or not. And there are a few cases where we say that search is not the right channel. So if you look at maybe say Uber or Yulu bikes, these companies predominantly, these are new products and services in the market. There is no one going to search about these products, so not applicable for this particular. It's a new or a innovative product. Industry where aggregator plays a very strong role. So if you look at food industry, Swiggy, Zomato. So if a restaurant comes to me and asks that I would want to do some SEO, I would say no. I mean, it's not going to be beneficial for an individual restaurant owner. On the other side, maybe say, look at the travel operators. So Redbus, Go Ibibo. If you are a bus operator, then primarily you need to optimize your searches within the Go Ibibo and maybe say the Redbus channels, because people there on Google searching for maybe say direct bus booking, the chances are very less. Even if there is some search that is happening, it would be dominated by these aggregators that are there on the page one. The right hand side, smaller business. So if you are maybe say a new beauty salon, I would say beauty product company kind of a thing, then there is no point in investing in SEO, because on page one, Amazon is going to be there, Flipkart is going to be there, Nykaa is going to be there, maybe say Himalaya. So all the B2C bigger brands that are there, or marketplaces, they are going to dominate those places. So if you belong in any of this category, then search is not the right channel for you guys. But if we feel that for most of the other industries, be it B2B or even education, healthcare, and many other industry segments, where we clearly see that there is a lot of searches that are happening, and if we are able to understand that what type of searches are happening. So at the start of a SEO journey or even search journey, it's very, very important for us to understand the nature of the keywords. So one very important thing when you're doing SEO is to get your keywords strategy right. So say for example, there, you recently started to run. Once you started to run, there is a heel pain that you have started to observe. So day one, you would just go and search online in terms of I'm facing some heel issue while running. So that's an informational type of a query that you're putting in. Then you understand that, okay, there is some shoe insert that I need to put while running. That might just help me with the heel pain. So then your information is maybe say becoming more transactional in nature. Over a period of time, you discover, okay, there are two companies like Nike and Essex that are providing these products. Finally, you compare these two products, and then you make a decision that, okay, I would want to buy Nike shoe that is there. And then it's more in terms of getting the best price. So the funnel actually works in terms of, initially there are informational nature keywords that are there. But broadly, when a person is more, I would say, informed about the product and the services, there are more transactional searches that would be happening. So there is searches might be location in nature. Say for example, if it's a healthcare client, dentist in a particular location, maybe say Bandra, Mumbai, that's a very location transactional type of a keyword. Or maybe say they have made up a decision in terms of buying something like best price for ABC product, or they are looking for reviews. So these are all transactional keywords. The other very important thing, and this is more at a, I would say, a strategic level when you start your campaign, is once you identify the overall search universe, you as a business owner would definitely want to rank for that one high volume keyword. So say for example, here, if we look, there are three set of keywords that we have highlighted. One is a trainer, the other is a Adidas trainers, and the other is a Adidas Yeezy Boost trainer type of a thing. So for this particular keyword, definitely the search is, the volume would be very, very high. But again, it's a very competitive keyword. The cost is also very high. And for us to rank on a very generic term like a trainer would be very hard, unless and until you are like an Amazon type of a company. If we go down, then maybe say the number of words in a, or the search phrases is increasing, Adidas trainers. Then if you go down a bit further, then there is some kind of a product or more information that you are providing. If many a times as a business owner or even the SEO agency, because of XYZ reason, they might not be able to understand the business well, or they might be just lazy. They forget about this long tail that is available. And in fact, long tail forms a very, very big percentage of the overall searches that are there. So it's almost 70% of the searches that are happening that are long tail keywords. And rather than focusing over here in the initial days, the idea is to focus in this area when you are starting with your SEO campaign. Because of two reasons. Here there is, I would say, the competition is lesser, so the probability of ranking is higher. At the same time, the nature of the keywords are also, the conversion rate would be higher. So the person would be more towards the transaction side versus the information side. So if you're ranking on this type of keywords, definitely the chance of you being on page number 1 is higher. Second, if traffic is coming, the conversion chances is also higher. So at the start of the campaign, even if you're doing in-house SEO or you are giving it to some other agency, invest enough amount of time, at least as a business owner, to get this specific things right, because this becomes the backbone of any SEO campaign. To give examples, by what do we mean by transactional informational type of a keywords, there is a solar company example that we have taken. So a company who is operating in maybe say Maharashtra, if they have to do their SEO, then one of the key thing is to find all the location based keywords. So solar companies in Mumbai, MSV is the monthly search volume. So that's the number of searches that are happening in Google in India on a monthly basis. And this number can be further broken down into maybe say country level, city level, state level kind of a thing. So right now, these are India numbers that we are having. Ignore the rank.
Some results from a search.
On the rank side, primarily it's more in terms of whenever we start any campaign, we try to figure out what is the current rank of that particular website. So you can just ignore this column. But you see the nature of the keyword, solar panel dealers in Mumbai. It's a very transactional in nature. And ranking for this keyword is much more meaningful versus maybe say solar light information in English or any of these keywords that are there. So our campaign focus or whatever, whenever you also start your journey, try to identify the transactional keywords that are there. More in terms of where you understand whether it's a location or if there is a cost component or if there is a nearby component in that particular keyword. So all those things are very, very important. The volume would be low. This would be long tail keywords, but again, the chances of conversion is on the higher side. So that's very crucial for us to figure out. Informational, definitely good to have keywords, but again, at the start of the campaign, it might not make any sense if you're strict on your budget. So we would always say that focus on transactional keywords. Over a period of time, definitely your informational keywords also would start ranking. So this is more of a B2B case. And another very important tip or maybe say suggestion that I would give is figure out your keyword universe. At the start of your campaign or even whenever you are doing you are in your business, you should understand what are the potential keywords that you would want to rank your business on. Initially, you might not want to have the budget to put all the keywords in scope, but at the same time, SEO is going to be a time consuming effort and it's not going to be free. So rather than maybe say ranking on 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 keywords, we ideally suggest that go for 100 keywords, go for 1000 keywords, and then you can phase it out. But at least you have the overall horizon in terms of what is the best results you can get through your SEO campaign. And if things are structured well at the start of the campaign, the ROI that you would get in the coming years through SEO is really, really, I would say it's one of the best channels to focus on. But getting these things right, again, I'm emphasizing it's very crucial. And as a business person, you would have to personally get involved to get these things right. Your team, your internal team, or even maybe say your SEO agency might not do a good job at this particular activity. Going a bit further in terms of understanding the nuances of keywords. So here we have taken up more of a B2C company, so a dental chain that is there, and then online rummy company. So if you look at this set of keywords on the left hand side, these are the keywords which are at the dentist in Pune. So these are again all location based keywords, very transactional in nature, but dentistry type of a service, it's ultimately very hyper local. So if you go to different areas in Pune like Viman Nagar, Wakad, Kalyani Nagar, and definitely there are 20, 30 more such areas, then you would see that there are a lot of keywords being searched even at this level. And if I just sum all these 20 plus areas within Pune, the number of or the volume of the keywords that are available in this hyperlocal keyword is much more higher versus what you see at the city level. So if your nature of a business, like say maybe say a packers and movers, or if you are into beauty salon or such type of a business which is more hyper local in nature, then you should definitely focus on this set of keywords which many companies ignore. Because it's a gold mine, it's easier to rank. You might be able to go on page number 1 in a few months time of SEO. even beating the top, I would say, aggregators over here. So that's one very, very crucial, I would say, point for people who are into this hyperlocal type of a services or services. The other trending thing is the regional keywords. So what we have seen is with internet being available in tier 2, tier 3 cities, the regional keywords, so Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, and different language keywords have started to rise. So if you are able to put this as a part of your active SEO campaign, it's easier to rank. So again, everything becomes a part of your overall keyword strategy. And same dental clinic, say for example, they might want to rank on braces keyword. But if you look, I mean, definitely it's very exciting considering the volume that is there. There are 33,000 searches that are happening on a monthly basis versus maybe say a keyword like a dentist in Pune, only 1900. So that way, from the business owner or even from a logical perspective, we feel that, okay, I would want to rank on this particular keyword. But the problem is that there is a very big, I would say, not a challenge, but how Google works is, if it's a transactional keyword, it is going to give preference to the local players that are there. So if you are a local player, say for example, this client Lifeberries. So right now, dentist in Viman Nagar, it's on the first page on second position, even above Just Dial and Sabka Dentist. Sabka Dentist is a dental chain. So an individual clinic is able to achieve a second position in a span of say 3 to 4 months. On the other hand, maybe say if I search for braces, if I look at the results, then there are, so most of the slots on page number 1 are taken by maybe say most of Google assets, be it YouTube or maybe say images that they are showing, or maybe say some global sites that are there. So even if you are maybe say Apollo Hospital and if you try to rank for braces, you might not be able to rank because it's a global level of a keyword that is there. So rather than chasing this informational keywords, we always suggest that we should go for transactional keywords where it's easier to rank, plus the conversions are also on the higher side. Again, while we are on the hyperlocal thing, one very important thing is GMB ranking. The factors are a bit different from normal SEO, but all the local businesses, all the hyperlocal business, we strongly suggest that if you have any service or a product which is more local in nature, get yourself listed in GMB, get some reviews, get some GMB optimization, and this is one of the best way to get the clicks and calls. So even before the normal search results, GMB, the map, things get loaded. So individual clinics, all of them, and they are maybe say ranking on top of the SEO results. Yeah. So this is the overall search potential. Definitely, there are two ways of getting into maybe say get the benefits out of the search that is happening. One is via SEO. The other is directly via paid ads. And right now, if I search anything like 2 BHK in Thane, the first 4 results are Google AdWords. And similar is the case with many other keywords. If I even click for maybe say how to play Rummy, definitely there is an ad over here. But then there is a YouTube that is there. Then we have multiple videos and informational sections that are there. So ideally, SEO looks difficult. I mean, ads is much more out there. So it's logically, we feel that, okay, PPC is going to work out best for us, and that is where we get started. And that's very much true, because as we discussed earlier, if you are not there on page number 1, then there is no point in doing SEO. And even in the right hand side is actually shows in terms of the click-through rate. So if there are 10 searches happening for a particular keyword, if you are on position number 1 in the Google search engine, then you would get 3 clicks out there. But you are on 10th position, then the same 10 searches would only fetch you 0.3 clicks. So page number 2, anyway, it's dead. Even on the page number 1, we suggest that if you are there on the top 5-6 positions, that where the clicks are happening. So it's very, very important. I mean, that if you are investing in SEO, then the target has to be into the top 5 or the top 7 positions. Else, there is no meaning. Then it's better to go with the PPC ads. So just a more of a comparison. So as I said, that SEO, it's helpful only if you are there on page number 1. If I look at the pros and cons, definitely the benefit is SEO gives us long-term ROI. There is more brand exposure, awareness. On the other hand, PPC gives us immediate results. On the flip side, maybe say PPC would be much more expensive in the longer run. Also, over a period of time, people have started to ignore ads because they know that that's a promoted content, and they would want to stay with the organic content. Flip side of the SEO, it's a complex thing. It takes time, and it requires more effort versus a simple PPC campaign. The recommendation is definitely do both of them together. And but if you ask more from people who have actually benefited from SEO, and there are bigger organizations, there are even startups who have built their business, even SMEs who are thriving on SEO, because PPC ads, we know that it's a money sucking business. Ultimately, till the time you keep pumping in money, your ads are going to go. The day you stop your ads, it is going to stop. So just an example, maybe say a rummy keyword that was there. So ideally, if you have been in PC campaigns, maybe say November 18 onwards, we have been tracking. So month one, if I say November 18, the cost per click was rupees 50. In 18 months, the cost has increased to almost 80-90 rupees. So that PPC campaign is becoming expensive. On the other hand, SEO campaign, definitely when we started the month one, and there is a formula that we use in terms of calculating the SEO cost per click. But ideally, maybe say month one, when we started, it was like almost 320 rupees. But month 18 right now, it's more around 24 rupees. So if SEO is done right, then definitely it becomes one of the best ROI marketing channels in the longer run. But then there in terms of getting the SEO right. So we know that I think even on this particular audience, there would be many people who would have burned their fingers with SEO. In our own capacity, I mean, individual would have experienced that. So people talk about, okay, these are the things, there different agencies would have their own way. There is a step-by-step approach, and we also follow all the on-page, off-page, local SEO type of guidelines that are there. I would not get into the details of this, but more focus in terms of if you're at a decision maker level, then what are the top few things that you would want to consider while going towards the SEO project. So one of the foremost thing is, before jumping into SEO, get your website fixed. So this is like a no-brainer. People have been talking about it, but it's very important that the website is fast and it is mobile responsive. The second thing that has recently cropped up with more of JS type of technologies that has been used in terms of React or maybe say Angular, there is a rendering or a crawling issue. I would not go into technicalities, but ideally Google is not the Google crawlers that are there, they are not able to read the content from your website. So there are fixes that are available, but getting the website fixed is very, very crucial, because we have seen that even bigger organizations, funded startups, after a few years of operations, were not aware about this technical SEO issues. So that's one of the base things that's required. The second thing is, as we said, that keywords, the website structure and the keyword universe, understanding of that is very, very, very crucial. In fact, I have put it 4-5 times. I cannot emphasize this more. So if you go with an approach that, okay, these are my 10 keywords, I need you guys to rank on this, those days are gone. If there is anyone, even your team member, if there is any company who tells that we would help you get rank on 10, 25 keywords, I mean, the process or the approach is flawed, according to us. So SEO is costly, and normally what we say is get the entire universe out there. Whatever keywords that are there, definitely then you prioritize into phase 1, phase 2 type of keywords. But predominantly you need to work on all those keywords. That's where you get all the, I would say, maximum ROI. And think about quick wins that are like hyperlocal keywords that are easier to rank, faster to rank. Regional keywords is there. Prioritize the transactional keywords. Again, just talking about the keyword universe. So if we look for an education college business on the right hand side, so that's an university in Pune, and they were specifically looking for getting the students from in and around Pune. So Pune, Sangli, Pimpri, Satara, these are all very location based keywords, and based on the stream or the degree that person is targeting. So if you look at maybe say this one particular keyword that is there, B farm Pimpri, there is only one keyword, there is only 40 search volume, but it's important to have, at least you are aware that if I'm able to rank on this particular keyword on page number 1, I might be getting maybe say 4 or 5 very genuine inquiries from this particular keyword. On the right hand side, it's for a Bitcoin business that's there. So again, I would not get into details, but you need to have a very good understanding how do you want to categorize your keywords, because that forms the basis of the website and the SEO structure that we are talking about. So the fourth point is more in terms of there is a concept of keyword siloing, based on which you create your entire website structure and everything. So here we have taken an example of a travels company who organizes tours. So if you look at different categories at level 1, there is tours by island. In category 2, there are tours by type, kind of a thing. And again, within those categories, there are different, say for example, eco adventures tours that are there. There are nature tours, there are whale watching tours. So the keywords are very, very different for each and everything. And we need to have a website which is optimized for all these different keywords that are there. So ideally different pages, different landing pages for all these different keywords that are there. And if you're optimizing your website from day one with this particular concept, then there is no limit in terms of the number of keywords you can accommodate in your active campaign. So there might be 100, thousands, 500 of keyword with which you can optimize and get ranked for. Fifth point is building the content for users. Again, it's a very, I would say, routinely talked about thing that content is important for SEO. I would not go into much deep, but to drive that transactional, I would say, intent keyword, it's also very important that you focus on the informational keywords that are there. So that will help you build your funnel, and over a period of time, definitely things would improve out there. 6 and 7. So this is the, I would say, heart of the SEO. This is the technical SEO, which people would talk a lot about. Maybe say, and I would just say that follow whatever the expert are saying, because it's a complex topic out there with multiple things in the on page, multiple things in the off page. Being a novice, it's very difficult to understand the nuances, even as you are able to understand the basics. Getting everything right in this particular two areas is very, very crucial for the success of the project. 8 is something Google has been evolving itself, and primarily over the years they have released multiple updates. So right from, we would have heard about Panda, Penguin. A recent one that came was EAT. EAT means expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. So there are different updates that keep coming, and it's very, very important that we adhere to whatever Google is saying. So all said and done, whoever, maybe say you have an internal team, you yourself are working, be very mindful of whatever Google is saying, and at the same time whatever it doesn't say. So you need to experiment a lot with the new changes that are coming. So that's point number 8. Point number 9 is more in terms of small SEO hacks. Definitely, it can help us get quicker, and I would say some of the easier results. 2 points that I have highlighted over here is siphoning traffic via Quora. So Quora itself, it's a very reputed platform. And at the start of the journey, if you are not able to rank your website for generic keywords, maybe say you put your content into Quora, Quora would start ranking. And once the person is there on the Quora, they would read your information, and then they would click on the website from there. So that's more about siphoning traffic via Quora or Medium. So ultimately we work on, we put some content in Quora, and then we help get that particular, our content within the Quora ecosystem get ranked in Google. The second is the feature snippet or the FAQ snippet. So Google keeps introducing new things. So a recent feature is the cost, or maybe say some snippets that are there. So on the right hand side, if you look at this, So it's very difficult for anyone to ignore this particular snippet. So if you are able to build your website, your technology in such a way that you are optimizing for this type of a feature, then it's really beneficial. Last is around the analytics and reporting. So many a times we have seen that a lot of companies do the SEO reporting based on Google Analytics. In a way, it's fine, but at the same time, the more important criteria is the Search Console, because it actually gives in terms of what clicks and everything that are there. So if you are with a SEO project, get into the Search Console to get the exact data. The other important concept is brand versus non-brand. A lot of times, if you look at the analytics data, it combines both the brand and the non-brand traffic. A lot of traffic might be coming based on the offline activities or the social media campaign that you would have been doing. So it's also important to understand whether the traffic is coming from the SEO non-brand effort that we are doing. So just some closing remarks in terms of whether you should do SEO in-house or you should outsource it. So see, primarily SEO is a complex and I would say both in terms of process and execution, it's complex. You can do it in-house if you feel that you have the right team that can help you get on page number 1. But if you're outsourcing, these are some of the, I would say, observations that you should be having right at the start. Get this entire web structure, keyword universe right. Ask for page 1 results. Do not settle for less, because else there is no meaning in that. Work on the Search Console clicks data, and also measure the non-brand clicks growth that you are getting. So I think this summarizes the overall discussion points that I had. And more my intent was to help you understand what are the key metrics and checkpoints if you start on your SEO journey. And definitely it's a very, very complex project. So that's it from my end.
Hey, Chirag, thank you very much for that. Massively useful. You've covered a wide range of topics. You've given it a lot of clarity. We hear a lot of these words, don't know how exactly they impact our business. Well, Chirag, that's about all we have time for. Thank you again very much for being here. Thank you for giving us insights into SEO. Really appreciate it. All the participants, my thanks again for joining us. We keep having this every Friday. We will send out information on the next session soon. But thanks again for being here. Have a great weekend.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Venkat. Yeah. Bye-bye.